There's a term that people use a lot, and it says everybody's different, and that's a good thing, because it wouldn't be good in the world if everybody was the same. It's important to be different or do what you think is the right thing to do for whatever you're doing it for. Last week at Mako, it was an excellent conference. I didn't get to attend Saturday. My niece had her bridal shower, and my wife attended. I don't do bridal showers. Sorry, I know they're co-ed these days or whatever, but I just don't do bridal showers. So we came back late Friday afternoon. But while we were there, I have to say it was a very interesting conference. I had meetings with Department of the Environment, Secretary Grumbles, Department of Health, Mr. Schrader, Secretary Schrader, MDOT, Deputy Secretary Sean Powell, also with the Public Service Commission. All important things to St. Mary's County, important things to our residents, to our constituents. Now, some people thought it was, important to go to those things, and some people didn't, and that's okay, because people are different, and you got to do what's different. Today, I personally believe that while I'm very worried about the COVID-19 Delta variant, and I strongly believe people need to get vaccinated, I also believe of choice, and I do believe we need to get back to normal. And the more we let this thing take over our lives, the harder it's going to be to get back to normal. Now, like everybody else, I'm surprised at the rising rates. Lord knows it's something that we have to be concerned about. But I do believe we need to get back to normal. I also believe in personal choice. If you've been fully vaccinated and you want to wear a mask, do so. But if you've been fully vaccinated and you don't want to do, then don't wear it. It's up to personal choice. It's what's made this country great. It's a great nation, and it's because we can do what we want to do. Well, back to Mako, I think they talked about a session they went to on Saturday, and I missed it, and I'm sorry I did. But I went to one on on Thursday, and I thought that was probably the most interesting session I went to out there the whole time. The people involved were the financial director, or the CFO, Chief Financial Officer for Anne Arundel County. And there also was the Director of Revenue Forecast for the Office of the Comptroller for the state of Maryland. And lastly was the retired Director of Revenue Forecast for the General Assembly. Now, I've sat in this seat during the last budget session and talked about the need to be conservative with our estimates, that one day we're going to have a day of reckoning for this COVID shutdown when we were all in home doing puzzles and watching Netflix and doing whatever we did, and economic activity was very stagnant. And the point is that I understand that it takes a while for that to come. But what we're seeing is good revenues well above our projections. This county is liable to see $25 to $30 million, if not more, of a fund balance. The school board's liable to see $16 to $17, $18 million in fund balance. And people would say, Commissioner Hewitt, your conservative approach to this is keeping people from paying our deputies as much as we could, and I want to pay them as much as any deputies out there can get. I want the best deal for our teachers we can get and our county employees. But I don't want to put recurring cost paying with money that may not reoccur. So I was very interested to hear what these three gentlemen had to say about the post-COVID economic environment. And what was very interesting to me was the Director of Revenue Forecast. His name is Andrew, and I'm sorry I can't pronounce his last name. I could spell it for you, but I won't bore you with that. But they called him Andy, and he was a very delightful person. But he said this recovery has been like a Nike swoosh, boom, and back up. But he said what we need to be careful of is probably in the next 18 to 24 months, it's probably going to continue. But then there's going to be, his term, a precipitous drop-off in revenue growth. That if you're spending it now, you may want to be wary because you may either have to cut services or increase taxes to accommodate what happens in 23 and 24. It's always easy to say, hey, I got it now, let me put it out there. But it's important that we make sure we don't spend it. His term was, we're on a sugar high right now. In the last 18 months, I was surprised to learn that the federal government, the stimulus money, has been $70 billion to the state of Maryland. He said the people who had the low-income jobs that were laid off or weren't working were the ones in the hotel industries or the ones in the restaurant industries, or the lower-paying jobs, and that those jobs did not impact our income as much. But those people received their unemployment plus $600 or $300 or whatever the amount was, stipends above. They actually had take-home pays that was above what they had when they were working. So they were able to spend. Other thought is people in high-income jobs, let's say doctors, lawyers, engineers, professionals. Those people, well, they teleworked. They got paid. Government workers, contractors, they all got paid. Now, the interesting thing is people couldn't spend. They couldn't go on vacation. I'm sorry I'm taking so long, and I'll get to my point. The point is that there was a lot of money that was built up in the economy, and people are now spending it. And we are seeing this economic activity that is well above what we expected. That's a good thing. Thank God we're seeing that. But we're going to have a day of reckoning. And it's important to know that it's probably going to be in 18 to 24 months, and that we need to be prepared for that. They told us, instead of spending your money on reoccurring funds, reoccurring expenses, you should concentrate on increasing your fund balance. You should concentrate on paying down or paying up your OPEB, your retirement funding. And you should concentrate on paying PAYGO. Don't borrow money to do projects, because you have to pay interest, and plus you got to pay it back. But try and pay cash, if that's the term I should use. PAYGO, pay as you go. And I thought that was very good advice. Now, let's segue into the Hollywood Volunteer Fire Department. My wife joined Ladies Auxiliary a couple years back. She likes to meet people. We had retired. She wanted to meet some new people. One of her friends joined. She joined with her friend. And it is just taken up her time. Now, thank God, I mean, it's wonderful. But Saturday, she had to go to that bridal shower for my niece. So she asked me to work her shift up there. Oh, my goodness. We were so busy. They said it was the busiest night they've ever had at a carnival. We worked our heads off. And it was amazing that the amount of people that were out. I think honestly, what it was, and they've talked about it, it was people who just wanting to get out. They want to get back to normal. They want to get to the carnivals, and they want to get to the rides, and all the children and grandparents. It was really wonderful. We worked again Sunday. Now, we get there at 6. We don't get home till almost midnight. It is so busy. And the dedication of those people at Hollywood Volunteer Fire Department and all the fire departments is just amazing. And it's honestly very encouraging. It warms my heart to see it, and I'm very glad to do it. Hey, my wife and I are doing the ice cream stand this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. As I say, come by and I'll serve you a cold one. Now let me, earlier today, a good friend died, unexpectedly. He was in the hospital and it was all going to be okay. Excuse me. It was going to be okay. And it wasn't. I apologize. But it hurts. Thank you.